Blackhearts Bay! We have our first map in the winner bracket final. So the Banshee Cup finals of Season 1, they continue, and we have Team Ash going up against the Raiders in a best of 5 series. And our first map is Blackhearts Bay. Now, once again, if you're looking at this and you're like, oh my god, Blackhearts, who picked that? Well, nobody did. Or, well, we did. So for the best of 5 series, we usually choose the map and we make it a bit interesting for the team. So we have played Hollow Mines, Warhead, Blackhearts Bay in this case now as well. So this is the starting map and it is predetermined. The one thing to point out here is that, again, we have one draft rule, and that means that you cannot play hero more than once within a series. So every single hero that you see in the game, he cannot be played again in a game in the same series. Meaning you see every hero only one time, which is quite nice for not only the audience, but it also forces the teams to put a little bit more thought into things at times. We still have the rule that you also have bounties, as I said before, so you can see the bounty lists here. Bounties are optional, you don't have to play a bounty, but you always can. It's an incentive for the players to play heroes or certain team compositions that we don't get to see a whole lot. If they do and they win with it, they get $50 extra in regards to prize money. Now, as I said from the beginning when we said this, I think the idea is really cool. But we also said we need to have some data on what works and what doesn't, and what we definitely found out throughout the games here is that a lot of teams don't want to risk anything in the later stages of the tournament. We have seen bounty attempts, but they backfired, and ever since that happened, most teams were shying away from them, just rather trying to make sure that they're getting farther in the tournament. Now, on the one hand, that seems kind of obvious. On the other hand, there were always some teams that are more so in the top 5 to 8, and I personally thought that a few of them would try and just cheese a map or two in order to get themselves a bounty. That hasn't really happened as much as I thought. So we have already announced that we're running a second season of the Banshee Cup. There will be a couple of general changes of how we're running the tournament in regards to qualifiers. It's going to be a captain's draft with 8 teams, but we also will introduce a few changes towards the bounty system, which should make it much easier and more attractive for the players to also try and complete some of those. Now, more details on that later, just saying that we might still see bounties now right here in the finals of Banshee Cup qualifier number 1, but we've definitely talk to players, and while they love the idea, they are always a little bit weary of giving the opponent an edge, even if you have a 2-0 lead, because essentially what happens is you're getting paid for playing with the handicap, right? That's just what it is. I know there's always a couple of people out there who's like, actually, meme blade barrier is really good, Khaldor. Or with some interesting Wood League theories like that, but when we're talking about tournament play, that just doesn't apply. When we're talking about tournament play, the stuff that you just saw, they are mostly, not all of them, but mostly handicaps. Lucio and Genji to open things up. Ugh, full Overwatch. Bah. Bah. It would be actually funny that now I'm talking about bounties and all of a sudden they're going for a full Overwatch team. That would be hilarious. Yeah, that would be actually hilarious. What would they have to pick? Diva? I can't even name all of the Overwatch heroes. The less we get. So Hanzo, Diva, and who else is left? Have you actually put a bounty up that you can't complete? Ah, Zarya, okay. Yeah. Mei, okay. Yeah, you can get a halfway decent team out there. I think the Overwatch team is a lot harder than some of the other teams. But, yeah. So, the Argas band, Maiev is banned. A lot of side laners actually got the axe here. Blackhearts Bay. Blackhearts Bay is kind of fun because it's... doubloons that you lost will be picked up. It's not like Tomb of Spider Queen where you lose something and your opponent can't take advantage of it. So here team fight prowess is a lot. It's very important. And I would have said that you could also play with a bit more global action, and that includes Falstad. Maybe Bishops locks him in. You can play around your opponent a bit more if you do that. But yeah, let's see. Go full Overwatch. Unknown Tracer would also be up. I mean, they have Lucio already, so I'm not going to go for a double support with that. I'm just saying, it's technically possible. You're a little bit more limited when it comes to your tank, I suppose. It would be really funny, though, if they did it. But they're not going to. Not in game number 1. ETC, and we get Sonya. So, you already get your power slide in. And Gavlo. Gavlo just wants to play his Tracer stuff and all of these things. Could do it here. But let's see what Bishops is going to get. Are we going to get Falstad? Bishops likes to play Falstad. There's plenty of other options. They could also swap Cassia over to Bishops. It's fine too. But if they want to have some more global presence and not solely rely on Brightwing in that department, then the birdie, nah, they go Junkrat. So we have Varian. Ooh, Varian side lane. Meme Blades, ladies. There we go. Are we gonna see Meme Blade Varian? Nah, probably not. They already, I think, played this once, and it was just after we announced the bounties and the Varian Twin Blade bounty, and they just went taunt. So yeah, it's always a little bit weird to see a side lane Varian. That's usually not something that you want to play. But let's see what they can do with that double tank front line, Diablo plus Varian. And we get Hanzo. Nearly an Overwatch comp, the Shimada brothers. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're going Meme Blades. Maybe they go for the bounty. Blackguards Bay, game number 1 in the best of 5 series. Team Ash against the Raiders. Team Ash against the Raiders. Well, off we go. On the left side, on Blackguards Bay, we got Renella on Brightwing, Murenas on Diablo, Lopaka with Junkrat, Bishops on Cassia going stacks. And Maitri is playing Varian in game number 1 of the best of 5 series here in the winners bracket final. On the right side of the map, the Raiders with Sven on Sonya. We got Hunter Orc on Lucio, ETC playing Krankle, Nano on Genji, and Gavlo completing the Shimada brothers with Hanzo. So, good old Blackhearts. The one thing that I would have absolutely loved if somebody would do that, and I guess you can't really do it the same way than back then. Johanna Asmodan, the good old rotation between the mid lane here and the top lane, which is basically right next to it, that can be fully controlled by Asmodan. And Johanna just helping Asmodan out the entire time, getting his stacks together and bring him into the late game. Those were the days. Well, Sven gets attacked up at the top, but the rotation at the bottom of the map forces the first fight. Diablo and Brightwing to the rescue, at least initially. And Morenas actually makes it out. Good. Looked close for a moment. Few moments. But okay. With now that, what are we getting from specifically Varian now? It's actually kind of funny too that Junkrat is just topside making his moves against Sonya. First, the Doubloon camps are already up, so we got all the camps up, we get the Doubloon camps in, and it's time to appease Blackhearts and also wait for the first chest. So, get all that booty. Good push here too. I mean, 5 stacks for Cassia, nothing too insane just yet. And yeah, with Junkrat. Oh, Lucio. Yeah, they're cutting it a bit close over here, aren't they? Those can easily backfire on them. At the top, Sonya with the spin to win, so it's time to get paid. Get all that money. Doubloons, baby. ETC is gonna go for the slide, I guess. Nah, get stunned out, and they're getting all the doubloons here. Genji has taken the chest at the top. So yeah, doubloons on both sides now. We got 5-9 already, as the Raiders have taken some of the side camps. For example, this over here, so the doubloon camp could also still go for the siege giants. And all the way at the... Ooh, Diablo going down at the top, as down here the fight continues too. They're trying to go for Bishops next, but Renella is again ready with Brightwing and is saving the day. The slide against Varian though might try for a moment in trouble, but they just don't have enough damage to follow up on that yet either. Genji isn't here anymore, Sonya's not with them, and Sonya is actually going for the turn-in now. So, we're seeing Sonya turn in, and Hunter Orc as well. They're not quite there yet for full turn-in. And while they do that, Varian shatters the hopes and dreams of every Meme Blade fan. And they are shattering ETC. Yeah, so no Meme Blades in the game, unfortunately, guys. I'm sorry. Taunt is just too good. Every single time that I'm talking about Varian, about Meme Blades, the one thing that I have to honestly say is what never ceases to amuse me is when you, for example, go to Reddit. Reddit for the last, I want to say, 10 years or so has always talked about how Taunt is useless. And how it's just a question whether you go Twin Blades or Smash. Like, it is amazing to me, the utter disconnect with what's really happening in the game in regards to power levels. I'm not saying you can't play anything else when you're playing Wood League, but the people that are claiming that Taunt is absolutely useless is boggling my mind every time when I see the topic creep up. And it does with like, regularly. So yeah, never change Reddit, never change. Always good for a chuckle. Well, Bishops Okay, careful. And they're saving him. Parker here too. Nobody wants to funnel into the choke point just too hard. There is a really big advantage in doubloons for the Raiders though. But as I said earlier, you win a team fight and then bam, doubloons go over to your opponent. And well, that's the first barrage. Now I went over this in the past, but now that we actually have the fountain health linked to the fort, it means that one barrage eliminates a fort. So you don't have to play around any kind of like initial damage at the wall anymore, as you had to do in the past. So when the map came out and was still in the rotation, what you also yeah, you also have to pick these up, by the way. What you always had to do was to take some of the towers down before you started the barrage, or it wouldn't take the fort. But now that the because the fountain was soaking up one shot, one cannonball, but now it doesn't do that anymore. So now it's unnecessary. Now they didn't pick the doubloons up. Doubloons not needed is essentially what Team Ash is saying here. As they're now starting to move in for the fort. Good damage done already. I mean, just removing the gate and the towers is already fantastic if you can pull that off. Anything that you can do in regards to structural damage on a map where the objective directly attacks structures is already a win for you. Yeah, so Bishops realized that they didn't pick up the doubloons and yeah, corrected that. Varian, by the way, has a really shitty time at the top against Sonya. Sonya with a camp against Varian's amazing wave clear. You kind of know how that went. So, yeah, let's double check that real quickly. It's going about as expected. So the entire wall up here is falling and is getting completely destroyed. My Tri can't do anything about it. Chests are spawning, which allows Nano to pick up another 5. They're just running the better ship here. It's just... the Raiders are doing just better in regards to coordination, at least for now. Not saying that Team Ash can't bring it back later, specifically now that... oh, well, Diablo's dead, but so is Sonya. 2 Diablo heroes destroyed. Coincidence? I don't think so. So, 34 stacks also for Cassia, but the turn-ins are coming. And this is going to hurt both lanes. It's going to hurt the top lane. Actually, it's not going to hurt anybody because it's only 10. So yeah, they need a bit more. But safeguarding the balloon is always a nice thing. This is one good thing for Team Ash, that they've already done significant damage at the bottom of the map without even utilizing the objective. Since the objective increases in price and costs, that is pretty helpful if you can do that at the beginning of the game. So, yeah. But either way, now 2-2. And already we got ults in for both, with Mosh Pit for ETC. Riptire to burn the minion wave down, and they got the turn in. Are they going to go for it? Well, it's actually the red team that was just a little bit faster, so they have to hold on to the doubloons that they have. And yep, 2 kills to 2. Shots are being fired. Topside fort will be destroyed, and even at the bottom of the map, the wall will fall. There's going to be doubloons that are being fired. There's definitely going to be a bit of overlap there that they can use. So this is also going to happen. Another quick attack against Lucy. They're really trying to invade right now. I mean, the blue team is trying to get aggressive because they're just losing too much ground here. They've already lost 2 of their forts. They're realizing it too. Nice damage. ETC probably looking for a Mosh Pit engage, which so far he hasn't gotten. Could still make that play now. They go for Diablo again. Morenas is low. There's the Mosh Pit. And he's dead. Diablo gone. The rest of the team trying to rush away. And keep in mind, if they lose my try, for example, that is 10 doubloons down the drain. Somebody has to pick it up, and it is Genji. Disaster. That's what we're talking about here. Brightwing is gone. Now they're trying to go for Bishop. So after the Fruit Fly gets eliminated and Trashwing is dead, they go for Cassia, and that's 21 doubloons that they have. A 5-man team wipe. The entire team dead. And boy, oh boy, is Team Ash in trouble. Now, first and foremost, this is gone. You're losing this one already. They have turned in a huge... By the way, the blue team hasn't turned a single doubloon in. Not one! Oh, God. I mean, later, if they grab some more, they will have good value, I guess. But now they're losing control of the map. That's the big problem here. So yeah, boss is taken. It's going to do some damage topside. They can fire the shots. They have actually not completed the turn-in, so they're still holding a lot here. Which means that, I mean, if you think about it, there is a chance that the blue team gets them back. That's the good news. That's the one thing that still could happen here. that they could technically try and bring them back. But now Genji is turning in, and that will put an end to most of those. Obviously, you have to defend at the top lane, so now he has also level 13, so you have a talent advantage. They're stealing the Siege Giants away. Fort at the bottom of the map gets destroyed, and then the barrage is going to focus straight into the middle of the map. Question is just simply, what is the red team going to do right now? It seems more and more likely that they're not really going for any team fights just yet. They're just going from one mercenary camp to another, take more and more doubloons, and just try and win that game with a turn-in, or at least get a huge advantage on keeps with that. So, yeah, that's what they're doing as we speak. How much are they actually holding here? I mean, Genji's taking another camp at the top, so he has 5. And with the keep, this keep is going to fall if they get another turn in. So yeah, they got 20. 20 doubloons. And the blue team is just sitting tight and is like, we gotta do something here. And they kind of have to. They have to guard the middle now just relentlessly, like all the time. 7 kills to 2. Doesn't really bode too well for them. ETC holds 13 doubloons now. I mean, they can be taken away from them, of course. But, yep, they're checking already. Turn-in attempt is happening. Diablo comes in. No talent advantage anymore. That's a big difference. Brightwing has to move in. And does. Riptire from way back, by the way. I mean, damn. That Riptire is running out of speed quickly. I mean, let it rip, but that Riptire is not going to do a lot for them outside of helping them to take the camp. And talking about camps, there's still 2 at the bottom of the map. Now Junkrat is dealing with it, but they're pushing in again, and since they've already taken the camp at the top, and there's also catapults moving in, you can imagine how that goes if left alone. So they go in for Diablo. Taunt has been used already. Bishops. Gavlo is getting decent damage out against Cassia. And Diablo is stuck at the front, going for his ult, but will likely fall here. They're trying to take Crankle down. He's waiting for the cooldown. Slides back out. Mosh pit against way too many. But he's down, and that is 13 doubloons gone. That is the kill that they needed. That's the kill right there. Ah, all that booty. Oh yeah, baby. That's gonna be a mid lane fort that gets destroyed, but boy, that was important. That was huge. All that money. Yep. Doubloons on the ground, and Brightwing is happy. Okay, so with that, we now have 7 against 3 on the kill count. And, well, on top of that, of course, also level 16 is coming in. But that is going to be the first fort that gets destroyed. The first objective that we have for Team Ashe. So, kind of got to recover from this a little bit. Now that you have level 16, you can try and make another play into the middle. And hope to get that turn in. Got, for example, the Giant Slammer over here. We also got up the frequency. So a lot of the stuff that really, really helps them with the final cut on top. And you can already tell that Team Ashe doesn't want to fight into this. There's still 16 doubloons that both teams hold. So first, the blue team doesn't want to lose it, and they're just accepting the turn-in. So that's the mid-keep gone. Mid-keep is going to get destroyed by this, but they're really trying to force that fight now. There's the slide, but they can't quite force it, and the camp has been taken already. Junkrat is at the top, though. I mean, if they could have forced it proper, they might have been able to do something here. Yeah. Can they go for the camp, steal that away, and while that plays out, this bottom fort is actually losing a lot more hit points than I expected it to. So, yeah, boss is coming up in 37 seconds. I don't think they can just stay here for the entire time. But, yeah, Brightwing is pushing the bottom of them, and there's another fort gone. Yeah, Team Ashe isn't out of this yet. True, they have lost the keep. But they are taking some structures now as well. Or at least they're about to. So, okay. That kind of changes things a little bit. Losing Diablo like this is, of course, bad news if you have a boss that is coming up in a second. And they can easily now go for it. They got Genji, they got Sonya. So if they want to make that play here, they can. It's a 5 versus 5 on the map, but you can definitely at least try and make that play. And the blue team accepts it. They are going for a turn-in themselves in the middle of the map. So no contesting the boss anytime soon. 28,000 damage for Cassia, 43,000 for Hanzo. Just trying to take a few more. Cassia completes the turn-in, and that turn-in is going to destroy the top fort, and there's going to be a bit left over to destroy the bottom fort as well, if they not already do that before. So they will now draw even in regards to forts. The problem is that that boss, marching through the top lane the way that it does, is definitely going to destroy the keep, and they might be able to get more done if they are able to get kills. 60 stacks for Cassia, so that's good damage. Nice, so they're still alive. Oh, but that's a kill. Yeah, with Sonya dying, that changes things again, so likely the keep will still fall. Actually, they might be able to save it. I mean, if they turn in again, then it's gonna fall. But yeah, that could be the second keep that falls, so they are barely able to hold on to it. I don't think there's a full turn in right now for the red team. Not that rich yet. They only have 7 out of the 18 that they would need here. Those things get pricey over time. So essentially, all the forts are gone on the map. One team has lost the keep, and a second one is low for them. But yeah, so bottom of the map. It could stay. There is a huge advantage for Team Ash. Team Ash has taken out a lot of the structures without using the blue ones, so they've done a lot of damage just by pushing camps and by pushing into the lanes. If they turn in again, it's gonna heavily attack the keeps. So that's where they have a bit of an advantage over the opponent's team. Their turn-ins are cheaper, they're next to at least. So it's something. But let's have a look at what the Raiders are going to do. I mean, they have a lot of mobility. Genji, of course, is now pushing out at the top. Varen is trying to turn in, and there's another turn-in. And while Genji is likely going to be able to take that fort, or that keep eventually, this is not going to take the keep down. It's going to get close, but this keep is still going to stand. So they need more for that. And Genji has now taken the top apart, so more and more catapult pressure against the blue team. They're down to a single keep, which means that turn-ins are now starting to also get dangerous for the core itself. So yeah, more problems. And somebody also needs to deal with Genji, just saying. Because if you just leave him here, somebody has to hearth. They are all there. It's a full 5-man. If they just get stopped from hearthing, Genji is going to take the game. So he's going to get damage on the keep already. I mean, that's happening. It's not going to be a lot, but hey, it still matters. 95%. That's 5% off the core. And he forced them back. Well, they can try and turn at least the gems in that they have, or the doubloons. And Genji is getting a few more. When was the chest up last time? Should probably spawn there as well in just a bit, right? Yep, there it is. So they're going to get the chest. They're going to get both, actually. So that's 10 doubloons that they're holding. And with Varian at the top, they can go for... oh, yeah, this is going to really hurt. Level 20 against 19. Varian visible on the top, the rest in the middle, so they get a free turn in. And once that they turn in, it is nearly going to destroy the bottom keep. It's not going to get entirely crushed, but they're going to do enough damage that they can easily move in then later. And of course, it also removes the doubloons from the map itself, which is really good for the Raiders too, because if the blue team is not able to catch up, then it's just going to be catapults, 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 pushing continuously against the blue team and doing their work there. Now we got 36,000 for Cassia, 51,000 for Hanzo. A few more doubloons, by the way, that haven't been picked up. And the shots are being fired against the keep right now. It's about team fights as well, though. Level 20 talents on both sides. And let's see what we're gonna get with this. Alright, yeah. Everybody wants that one kill, one fight. Taunt is up, and there's the party. Diablo comes in for the interrupt and gets it. ETC dies, but Varian has fallen, and now they go for more. Oh, Diablo still alive. Holy shit, and they're killing 3. They're actually killing 3. Nice. Good stuff. Yep, that might be game. They were dominating for a long time, but this might actually be game. They're trying to go for it, I think. They don't have Varian. It's 2 versus 4. I'm not sure if they have it here. It's like damage dealers that they still have, and that objective, that core objective, is not that bad either. But they get another kill. Sonya's gone. 30 seconds. Oh, that might be a bit too much for Hanzo. He nearly got Junkrat, but the core is falling, and it takes 20 seconds for ETC to come back. Everybody's low, everybody's just bouncing around here. So they're doing as much as they can, but the core is just falling too quickly. If it was more than Hanzo, they might have a chance, but Hanzo is too low, and well, I guess that's game. Team Ash had problems during the game, but you know what? 9 kills to 9, and they're taking it. That's a win. That's a W. Team Ash is locking in win number 1 in the best of 5 series. Nicely done. GG. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Game number 2, Cursed Hollow, everybody. So, Raiders against Team Ash, and yes, Team Ash took it. They were struggling throughout the game. They lost tons of doubloons, they lost structures, they were down to only 1 keep. And then it was a single engage where they prevailed and just flipped the script. It was kind of funny too because it was a really nice engage initially by ETC going into his Turbos play and starting out multiple heroes, and then all of a sudden it's just like bam, he dies and Diablo survives and he just burns them down. So it was pretty special and they were able to win it. So good for Team Ash, have taken the lead so far. We are still in the winner bracket final, of course. So the loser drops down in the loser's bracket, the winner moves on to the next round there. And which next round meet the grand final. But yeah, I think this series is probably going to be the closest that we had so far. So Cursed Hollow, Falstad gets banned, and let's see what else they're going to get rid of. And also the map was chosen by the team in blue, so they went for map choice. And I'm just sitting here thinking, are we gonna get some Abathur stuff? Are we gonna get maybe some Muro in the game again? As we're going from one map to another, there's a lot of cool things that they could bust out. Specifically looking at bishops here. I mean, obviously Karrigan is still there, you still have Maiev, so both of them are possible, specifically when you're trying to play with, let's say, Stukov, and you tether somebody in it. So, yeah. Sylvanas is also quickly locked away. Still kind of sad. I think for season number 2 we're really putting the rule in that you can't ban Sylvanas. You can't ban her out of her own cup. I mean, come on. So, yeah. And again, if you didn't know why this is actually the Banshee Cup, it's very simple. Kevin, who sponsors the tournament, he's the owner of the LAN center in Miami, where we held 2 offline events, and he also made the event in Berlin possible, where we had the Nations Cup last year. Check the playlist out on YouTube if you haven't yet. You are gonna love it. It was amazing having Korean, North American, European players on site in an offline environment and like play against each other again. But yeah, so he's a huge Sylvanas fan. He's a Sylvanas one trick. He has like 7,000-8,000 games on his main account alone with her. So that's Sylvanas, Banshee Queen, Banshee Cup. Dehaka, first pick after Sven picked Blaze. Vikings banned, which is always sad. Every time I see Vikings banned, even if the opponent didn't want to pick them, you know, it's like just the possibility that we could have gotten it makes things already nice. And then you just sit there as like, why you hate fun? Why you just hate fun? I also want Sven to bust out his Samuro again. Blaze? Come on. Like, how much more boring? On a scale from 1 to 10, Blaze is a straight up 9 right there. Yeah, we need we need Samuro. We need the Vikings. So give me something. Gavlo and Maiev now. Yeah, Tranquilo and Johanna. I mean, Nano still has Chromie. Could play Chromie. But yeah, Hammer's also getting banned out. So, well, what are the final bans here? What are they getting rid for, especially looking towards Nano here? It's either going to be a mage, well, it's very likely going to be a mage, no matter what. And they ban Chromie. I absolutely understand that. So, yep. Bye-bye. Exactly, bye-bye. Nobody needs you here. Go away. Find a hole and crawl into it. You definitely have the right size for that. Final ban for game number 2. In our best of 5. Grand final, by the way, is going to be a best of 7. Just saying. So that's also getting pretty special. But against bishops. No, they ban Meridian. They actually go for a frontline ban. I thought they would look at bishops and would try and figure out what they can ban there. Nope. So we got Morena's bishops and Lopaka still ready to pick for them. I mean, this is the time to look in Cho'Gall, right? It's a shame that the cats aren't here anymore. The cats would have played Cho'Gall again. They actually did it now twice. Well, they did a lot more in the qualifiers, but in the group stage. So we get a Nubarak and we get Greymane. So Nubarak, Dehaka, Greymane for camps, also to try and take some heroes down quickly. Nano and Hunter, we still need the support, of course. But where is Nano now going to play? Mephisto. I mean, if he goes for Mage, does he go for Mage? Could go still Mephisto. You have Gul'dan up. Oftentimes, normally I would say it's Kel'Thas, but I think they need a bit more than that. Anduin and Liming, okay. Yeah. Resets. Get the resets and then go ham, son. Just wreck him. So, Lopaka, last but not least, as we are about to head into Cursed Hollow, map number 2, between Team Ash and the Raiders. The blue team has taken the lead in the best of 5 series. But I'm not so sure if the Raiders are too happy about that. They're definitely gonna now come in and try and return the favor very, very quickly. Cursed Hollow, ladies and gentlemen, map number 2. Hogga is the final pick, and with that we're going straight into the second map. Game number 2! So, Team Ash, can they pull it off once again and take that 2-0 lead? Time will tell. Renella on Rhaegar. He absolutely loves this hero. Renella really likes to play Rhaegar. To an extent where teams have actually banned Rhaegar out against him or picked him away. We got Greymane for Morena's, Bishops on Anubarak, Lopaka with Hogga, and Maitri is playing Dehaka. So some global action for them too. Now on the other side of the map we get Sven for the Raiders on Blaze, Crankle on Janna. Nano is playing Li Ming in game number 2. We have Hunter Orc on Anduin, and Gavlo is playing Maiev for the team. So, round 2. Nubarak at the top is already trying to get Greymane onto a tower and take a tower down. Or structure or two. That's a nice thing when you're playing this. I mean, again, they had to let this slide, but the idea was, of course, to move in with a Nubarak, spawn a couple of beetles, just draw aggro from the towers, and then make sure that Greymane gets a couple of easy hits in and can take some of the structures down a notch. So that was the game plan, but with the quick reaction that came from the opposing team, they couldn't quite go for it. Instead, we're getting a brawl between the lanes very, very swiftly. So, yeah, down to the bottom of the map also. Still our 1v1 between Blaze and Hogga. So that's the next one up here. And yeah, they're already getting a bit aggressive in an attempt to lock a first kill in. I always like when we have Team Ash. Team Ash is fun. These guys are always going to brawl. They never really give up. They always just like, alright, let's go. Another team fight, another chance. And it proved right. I mean, Battlefield of Eternity, sorry, or Blackheart's Bay, they played it pretty much perfectly there. The entire game, a bit in trouble, and then towards the end they were just like, you know what? Let's just win that one team fight and then snowball it hard. Now, of course, they've already taken out all those forts, so that really helped. But, yeah. Anyways, top tower is nearly destroyed. There's a couple of camps that are being focused on by the teams right now, but yeah, it's really just the structures on that top wall that are the most interesting as it seems. So level 4 is already in, 1 tower down, gate is nearly destroyed, second tower has also taken an enormous amount of damage. There's still a push in the middle as Hogga is trying to get into a nice spot so that they can try and break through that wall too. But the position of the camp is just absolutely perfect. Just to zone out the opponent's camp and allow your own to do as much damage as possible. So yeah, it doesn't really get much better than that. Good defense. Hunter Orc nearly got cocktailed. Yeah. That would actually be kind of funny. If Anduin gets cocktailed, that would be funny as hell, because I know that guy can't hold a drink. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Hunter Orc just takes a whiff of a cocktail or any alcoholic beverage and would immediately just be in down, just like completely hammered, drunk, out of the game, doesn't stand a chance anymore, you can't control the hero. That would be kind of funny. Yeah, Babyface would, yeah, 100%. So, Anduina trying to now help out Jojo for the time. Bishops is now starting to move in too. Again, the push in the middle. We already had it previously. So they're trying for it again. Trying to break that down, trying to get their kill, but the blue team is losing hit points quickly. And Renella just can't heal them up. And it's a freebie for Nano. Nano's just moving. It's like, well, if you are all brawling in the middle, I guess I'm gonna just take this. Yeah, thank you very much. So easy tribute for them. Don't even have to fight for it or anything. So easily given up. The Haka at the top. Can they hit? Yep, that's a kill. First kill in the game, 3.5 minutes in. Job well done, but Blaze falls at the bottom, so it's not like the blue team doesn't know how to kill some heroes. So it's a 1-1 on the kill count, but with the Nubarak now pushing in, that's actually pretty neat. The one thing that they're missing here is Greymane, but he's already done damage in the middle and has broken through the gate. So, yeah. This is actually looking pretty good on structures for the blue team. I mean, that is a lot of damage. Easy damage at that too. 2 walls destroyed. No damage on a fort or anything, but that is still a W. So yeah, easy victory here. Can go for the next tribute. Maybe... Oh god, yep, that's him dead, and that's another tribute for the red team. So, the Raiders, they might lose some structures, but now they have 2 tributes to 0, and we all know what that means. That means that from here on out, the blue team will have to fight for every single one of them, or they're just going to risk that curse. And that is something that you definitely do not want. So, yeah, curse usually hurts you a lot on structures. And this is very likely what we're going to look into now. So 2 kills to 1, at least on the experience, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, Bishops. All right, careful. He moved into the wrong spot with this. He would have likely died. It's, by the way, a full zoo over there for the blue team. I mean, we got everything: dogs, wolves, dinosaurs. I have no idea what Hogger is. I just know it stinks. But yeah, hyena, I guess. So yeah, I guess technically not true when we're talking World of Warcraft lore, but we'll call it a hyena. That's a hyena for sure. So yeah. And damn, tribute is up. They go for the boss down here, so it's the dog attack team. And up at the top, they are making sure that they're not getting it. The drag is nice. They're actually pulling it off. I thought it was just a boss exchange, but no, they pulled it off. They forced them back. They take their own boss, and they don't allow the opponent to claim it. Oh, Rega. Yeah, Rega got stunned out, and the Haka is in trouble. Cocoon gets used as a hit level 10. Maybe they can still save him, and indeed they can. This misses, Nubarak gets out, and now they can still fight for the next tribute. And I mean, they have to. Boss at the bottom of them, they actually are going to just slow that down. I think they are accepting the curse if it happens. There's the interrupt. Nice. But look at this. They're crushing this spot lane. So they will lose this eventually. This is just a matter of time. They don't want to lose heroes here, but they're happy to just interrupt them and buy time. Because, guys, they're going for the keep now. What? Alright, so the Haka is now dead. The Haka is gone. They still have Bishops and they have Lopaka here. But while they all try to get this, Blaze has moved back. But this entire wall is gone and the keep will take damage. Now, are they going to get the keep? Maybe? What is this? Team Ash! I mean, that stun didn't go nowhere. There's the curse. But they're actually going for the keep and they're taking it. What is happening here? What a play! This is not something that I expected. Not even in the slightest. The fight continues. I guess they're losing Hogger now. Cocoon is out. They want Anduin. But they have to deal with the curse. Bot lane is not going to be a problem. Top lane, that's a different story. But this is wild. This is absolutely wild. Disc is missing, so they lose one fort. Do they lose a second? I can't believe that they actually got the key. That's crazy. They just kept pushing. And kept interrupting at the top. Curse for another 22 seconds. Bottom fort is now going to get attacked. Mid fort is going to get attacked. They're taking vision over again, and they're making sure that Mai Try defends the top keep. But it's... that was so not worth it for the Raiders. That was absolutely not worth it. And they're just sitting here, it's like, God, it's not a problem. We just push, we kill everything. They don't retreat, we kill core too. We kill fort, we kill keep, we kill core. It's easy. No need objective. Objective is stupid. Duh. Is very stupid. Just take keep, win game. I love these guys. They are so damn good. Oh, beautiful. So, 5 kills to 1. Now, that's obviously the bad news, right? Like, they lost 5 heroes. It's 13 versus 13. But taking their keep down is big. Structurally, they are ahead. And they lost 3 tributes, and it just doesn't really matter. That's the next thing. 3 tributes lost, and who cares? I mean, seriously, who cares right now? Like, they certainly don't. But they have to start winning a couple of fights here. So that's obviously the next problem. You have to now start to deal with a couple of fights, make a couple of plays there. If you can make that work, then you can get back into the game easily. There's a boss at the top too, but now that Li Ming is gone, that's the first step in the right direction for Team Ash. The Raiders desperately trying to fight back, but now they're losing Gavlo as well. That's Maiev gone. And, well, they might even lose Blaze. He gets away. So yeah, Blaze gets away. Boss is on half HP. Not gonna be able to do a whole lot here, but it's some damage. Fort gets destroyed as well. Alright. This is just wild. I just ignore that bad part. It's like, yeah, we don't care. you do you. It's fine. 26,000 for Hogger. Top damage in the entire game, by the way. 25,000 for Maiev. So now they're stealing a couple of these cams away. There's another tribute up that they could claim. Don't forget, now that the keep is gone at the bottom of the map, that also means that the bot lane boss is now super dangerous to the Raiders, right? So if the bot lane boss spawns again and they are not careful, that's just gonna march straight towards the core. And just look at the difference in experience that we're talking about right now. They are heavily ahead in that. They have now level 16 any moment, and they're just sieging up down here. I don't even know why. I mean, what are you looking for? Are you looking for 16 and then you want to end the game? How is that going to happen? So, yeah, they're trying to look for kills, I guess. They are getting one. Anduin is dead. Do not tell me the ending here. That's not the thing. Greymid is gone, and Greymid is the biggest asset to this. Li Ming is dead, but so, I mean, again, pushing this might be looking for too much. I can understand that if they're getting a couple of kills together, then all of a sudden they might be in a situation where they can end because they have Greymid on their team, but that was a bit of wishful thinking. They could have just easily moved back, gotten the tribute, which I suppose they're still doing here, but they had, with that level 20 advantage, some map control that they could have utilized, and they just didn't. So now Hogger is locking this in. The boss at the bottom of the map is still up. They could start to go for it, but yeah, it's just carnage. It's just carnage. Level 16 talents. Greymane with Executioner. And now they got the Earth Grasp, Totem, and Epicenter. Oh! And he dodged the disc. My try, you boss. Yeah, if he gets disc, he's probably dead. Alright. Yeah, now the bottom boss. That's the big one. So, if they're actually triggering it even. That would be a risky play. That would be a very risky play. If they get it though, they are likely taking it. I mean, this is the ticket into victory. They also have a global. I mean, they're the only team that has a global right now. So if anybody is going to make some big plays on the map, then it's going to be the blue team. So yeah, next tribute is up. The Haka is already guaranteeing them some extra experience and pushes the top lane out. The red team is pinned down. The Raiders are just pinned down here. They can't do anything else. This is what they gotta do. I mean, yeah, next attack is coming. Oh, they go for Hogger. The disc, the stun, trying to safeguard the hero, and the Ancestral's out as well. Li Ming out of commission for a second. Another stun. Maiev is dead. They nearly get Johanna here, but they're also chasing Anduin down. And Hunter Orc is running. He's on the run and he gets away, but he's also far too far away in order to help Blaze or anyone else. So that's 2 kills, and that's a boss. Damn. They might actually be able to do it here. Yeah. There's a second tribute that they can now take, so they have 1 tribute. That's the second. They should at least get the tribute. I mean, come on, boys. There is no downside to taking the tribute. Thank you. They just let it stand. They just let the tribute stand. It's like, yeah, we don't care. It's bounty, Khaldor, right? It's bounty. Win game without objective. Easy bounty. It's no bounty. It's not a bounty. Maybe it should be. But yeah, it's like, what the hell? They're just sitting there like, we don't need the tribute. It's fine, guys. It's fine. There's a 0 downside to taking it, but let's just leave it. Let's just leave it on the map. So yeah, if they lose it now, I mean, whatever. 7 kills to 8, and yeah, Johanna is dead. Johanna is gone. They already cocooned Li Ming. There's damage on her. Boss is on the core, and with Blaze dying, that's a 2-0 lead for Team Ash. What a team and what a game. That was pretty amazing. Nicely done. Team Ash, 2-0 against the Raiders. We're going to game number 3, but what a lead for the blue team. Well played. GG. Dragonshire, game number 3. I personally did not really think that we would be here in a 2-0 situation for one of the teams and potentially looking at the last map of the winner bracket final. It's kind of wild, honestly. Didn't really think that would be a thing. So, interesting situation. I mean, right now we got Raiders against Team Ash, and this could be the final map here. Now, 20 heroes have been played and can't be played again, just as a little bit of a reminder. So the teams have to draft around that. First pick, first ban again for the Raiders. And then at the same time we have Team Ash now over on the left side with map choice. They chose Dragonshire and also the 2-0 advantage. I gotta say though, the games are fun. Specifically Cursed Hollow was actually really fun. So yeah. That they just pushed for the keep. And then won the battle at the boss, took the boss and just won. Just like straight up. So Mirrodin gets banned out. Targeting tanks a bit. Again the Vikings. I think that if Sven plays anything, it's most likely going to be Samuro. Well, to be seen. Are they going to ban Chromie again though? Also, wait a second. Maiev has been played. Kerrigan is still up. Urel, I believe, is also still up. Was Urel playing Genna 1? I don't think so. So, yeah, which means that Urel for the top lane would actually be pretty sweet. Could go for her. And, well, Sylvanas gets banned out again. Okay, Raiders, I need you to step this up a little bit. At least give me a 4th map, okay? Something. Team Ash has been beasting it here. Very impressive. I mean, they have joined the qualifiers late. Did a great job in the group stage. They actually came out first in their group. They defeated the Bratwurst boys, who then also were taken down by the Space Goofs. So out of Group A, Team Ash made it as the first seed. And now they are sitting here in the winner bracket final with a 2-0 advantage over their opponents. I mean, it's not impossible to take a reverse sweep, specifically in a format like this where you can't repeat certain hero picks. Nano's not risking anything now, is he? He's instantly picking Chromie. He's like, alright, I'm done with this. I am absolutely done with this. So... well, blue team with a double pick. Let's see what they're getting. It's kind of funny to me. Insta-pick into Chromie. Uther and Lunara. Not really a hero that I expected to be taken in the first pick rotation. Seeing Bambi here, fine. But giving her such a priority, alright. Together with Uther too. Let's go straight into the double support. Have Uther in as the main tank, as second support. Probably not. But still. How is the red team gonna react? Malfurion and Garrosh. So the good old Garrosh throw into Malfurion roots. Chromie damage behind it. Gets the loop going as well. And yeah, let's see. Still, I can't believe we're here. Like, honestly, like 2-0. What? Ash, you need to slow down. I think at least on this map they're gonna play with the objective. Actually, I'm not so sure now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so Samuro gets banned. Essentially, they're just targeting mainly Sven. I assume that if Chromie wasn't picked already, they would have banned Chromie instead of Samuro and targeted Nano a little bit more heavily. But it makes sense what they're doing here. They're banning out two of the most annoying heroes that Sven both plays. So yeah, they're trying to get rid of that. And yeah, on top of that, we get Chen. So nice. Chen gets banned as well. That would have been a possible pick for them for sure. I actually love that Chen is getting played quite regularly right now. It's not only Max Passion and Soaking that are busting Chen out, but there's other people, other players that are also going for him. Masquerade, not really the best track record on Chen. I think he played it now how many times on Battlefield of Eternity as a main tank, so trying to copy Capybara. And it didn't, like, if I'm not mistaken, he's 0-0, 0-3 with it as a main tank on Battlefield. But yeah. So we get Rexa, the King of Dragonshire, for the top lane, and we got Stukov. There is our double support, so Uther indeed as a main tank. And then we get Stukov plus Rexa. They got Bambi, and who else are they gonna get with this? Triple healer incoming? Yeah, I mean, if they want to go for a bounty, that would be it. The triple healer bounty is actually up. That would be a wild one. But then I would have expected them to pick a different hero. Medivh and Zul. Oof. Oof. Yeah, Zul for easy wave clear. Medivh, Malfurion. That is annoying as hell. Okay, final pick. Team Ash, moment of truth. A 2-0 advantage for them already. And let's see what we get as the final weapon of choice. Imperius. Alright. Ladies, Dragonshire, map number 3. Let's go. Game number 3, match point number 1. On the left, Renella on Stukov, Morenas with Uther. We have Bishops on Imperius, Lopaka on Rexa, and my try is playing Bambi. So, it's Bambi time on Dragonshire. On the right side, Nano with Medivh, Crankle on Garrosh, we have Gavlo on Chromie, Sven on Zul, and Hunter Orc is playing Malfurion. I mean, pretty strong combos for the two of them. Kind of interesting what they're currently doing right here on the left now with that Uther main tank. But, I mean, they still have some really nice ones. You have, first of all, Bishops on Imperius, which has been played in the past and is quite powerful too. They love that triple front line as well. But it's a ton of sustain. And thanks to Medivh, they also have a lot of sustain on the other side. So, there's that. It's not only one team that has a lot of layers that they can use in order to keep heroes alive. I have no idea who's going to take this here, but it's going to be interesting for sure. Specifically also with Rexa or King of Dragonshire at the top. But that portal can come out of nowhere and all of a sudden you are in trouble. And well, there's a few that are in trouble right now. And one of them is Garrosh. Oi. He's nearly dead, but Uther is dead because, well, if you give Nano Chromie, then he is going to make sure that you're having a bad day. It's not the only one. Nano gets out, he has 10 stacks, so he's not losing those. At least I don't think he will. Renella! And that's the end of Stukov. So, good start. The Raiders, 2 kills to 0. and doing some damage. Getting some stacks also for their Medivh player. And off we go. Talking about Medivh players, actually Gavlo playing Medivh. It's Nano playing Medivh, and therefore Gavlo is playing Chromie. Yeah. So for a second I was talking about Nano playing Chromie and this is what happens, but yeah, Nano is not the only one that can play Chromie apparently. So he was able to get a kill for the team, so yeah, good for him. But nice. If the stacks are completed for Medivh, then obviously that's also gonna be playing a big role here. My try with Bambi, going full Lul Nara on us right now. That was also making me a meh, meh. Uther? I mean, that is the second time now that Uther gets caught and killed, so he likes to ghost around and heal people, I suppose. So, bye-bye Uther. That's 3 kills to 0. That's an early level 4. Not a great start for Team Ash. Not quite sure I should complain, though. I would not have anything against a 4th map. I'm going to be honest with you. This series has been very fun in regards to the maps that we've seen, and obviously you never know what's happening. Oh, well, what's happening with scores, but at the rate that this is going, I would not mind map number 4. Because those were hilarious, like absolutely hilarious. 4 kills to 0. I mean, this is quite the opening here for the Raiders. They are apparently done. They're just sitting there like, alright, screw this. Like, let's take him down. Let's get the damage in. And they're doing a lot of that. So, well, nicely done up to this point. There's basically a level lead that they're already running here. But now they're losing Zul at the top to Imperius and Rexa. So, and Misha, of course. Shouldn't ignore Misha here. Yeah. Doesn't deserve that. No, she deserves so much more. But yeah, so Misha still accounted for 2. So that's 1 kill at least that they got. And maybe they get Malfurion. No, they don't. It would have been funny if he just died again. Just imagine this. Like, really nice move from Crankle on Garrosh, so that was pretty cool. But just imagine, picture it for a second. You're about to kill a hero, and then it's just a double throw from Garrosh, and all of a sudden, you are the one that dies. It would just be like, oh yeah, thank you. Talking about dying, Rexa is dead again. He got wrecked. And that shuts down the ambition to get the early Dragonite, especially since the red team now has level 7 talents. And Zul is starting to sneak in to get himself the top shrine. So, after 4 minutes, we now have 5 kills to 1. Level advantage, talent advantage. Yeah, the double support trap. Oh no, please, no, no. No, no double support in the bush. No, oh my god. How am I gonna survive? This is horrible. Please, no. You know, like maybe there was a ping. I'm not quite sure what the ping was for. Like basically just get out of my bush. And there's a Dragonite. So, Dragonite is taken, and I think the Raiders are really looking to drive the bus here. So, yeah. To be fair, they've also done it on Black Hearts, and we know how that ended. So I shouldn't call that too early, specifically since we're not even on level 10 abilities, but the early game is still quite solid for the Raiders. At least that's the thing. So, yeah. I mean, they're looking good on this. We have now down at the bottom of the map, Chromie getting attacked at least a little bit. But Bishops gets... Oh! gets stunned or time trapped in the middle of the hit. And now has to try and escape. Dragonite is there too. Hey, they can actually go for it. Yeah, they can zone them away. Whoa, the stun over the wall. Nice! Crankle is on the other side. Once again, used the portal to escape. But that was still pretty cool. That was pretty sweet. So yeah, nice moves being made here. Good stun combos too. 19 stacks for Medivh, by the way. So he's not done with any of this yet, but he is putting the work in. Level 10 is so close now for the Raiders, on the other hand, that the blue team will have to fall back. They can't possibly stand there any longer and risk fighting an opponent that has a heroic ability while they just don't have that yet. And have to wait an entire level until they get it. So, yeah. But yeah, some pretty interesting moves now. And obviously what the red team is doing right away after hitting heroic is that starting to take the opponent's camp away. Basically what you really need to do here. steal the camp away, get the Siege Giants, try and push for the fort. They portal in again, take Bambi out. Venison is on the grill today. Maybe they lose Malfurion. Level 10 versus level 10. Nope. Leyline. Medivh is cheating as usual, and the ult of Imperius is not hitting anything because of it. That must be frustrating too. I mean, you're popping your ult out and then just Medivh comes in and just like, no, thank you. We don't want any of that, and the cooldown is just destroyed. I mean, you can argue that it's trading cooldowns, but yeah, still. Medivh cheating as usual. Nothing new over here. The fort's still getting attacked at the bottom of the map. 6 kills to 1 now. Chromie nearly done with her quest too. Went full Sandblast on this one, by the way, so didn't go for the deep breathing, for the Dragon's Breath stuff that we traditionally see. Yeah, a couple more attacks over here. Now they go for the camps again. It seems a bit like the blue team is... they're a bit intimidated, aren't they? I don't really blame them. Game is not really going their way. They have to make sure that they're getting something. So just go for the camps first, try and take as much control as you can and hope to get a kill at some point. You have to close that gap in experience, but now we're talking about an entire level here. It doesn't really help their cause. Now, as the attacks keep coming and Medivh is just pinning down their position, we have the attack at the bottom of the map, focused straight on the fort, so that fort is going to get destroyed. They are hoping to take the one at the top out and maybe even get Zul, but again, it's Nano with portals. Now, there's the ley line. Zul is still alive and is hiding over here, but they might still get him. The problem is that now the red team is doing the exact same thing to Team Ashe that was done to them in the previous game. They're coming in and taking the structures down, trying to push for the keep. Now, they don't have the same push pressure, though. The problem is they don't have Greymane. Zul is now dead. They could technically still try and take the fort out. I think they will. But the bottom keep, yeah, it's gonna fall regardless. They're still Siege Giants. They are a lot slower, but they're realizing that this one is gonna be gone. So, I've seen this before somewhere. Ah, no! Lunar, come on! Veni, Vidi, BG. She came, she saw, she got wrecked. Oh boy. So, 8 kills to 2. They're still trying to flank in here a bit, and Rexa is now also coming, but they just, it doesn't see... It seems like they don't really have an answer for this. They don't really have an answer. Now, at least Zul died at the top and they got the fort, but at what cost? That's the problem. That cost them way too much. So, yeah, gotta deal with the Siege Giants. Lunara is already on it right now. But, yeah, bad news. And I guess they're at least able to take Zul down. Well, Medivh is there, and... yeah, they don't get him. Can I just say that Medivh is annoying? Okay, a good Medivh is annoying. And Nano is definitely a good Medivh. So, yeah. 8 kills to 2. I think at this point, the one thing that some of the players on the blue team side are already thinking is, well, at least they only can play him once with the draft rules that we have. Bishops is getting out, or is he? Yeah, there's the delivery on Zul. Where's the Misha stun? Gets the Divine Shield, okay. And they couldn't... He has another engage. I mean, they're getting really nice engages off. The problem is they just can't have the damage. There's not enough damage for this. And they're dying again. Imperius is dead. 9 kills to 2. Blue team is getting farmed. This is not looking good for them whatsoever. I mean, Renella is dead, the quest is completed for Medivh, which makes matters even worse, of course. So, yeah, as it stands, this is going to be a very one-sided affair. Bottom push with catapults on the core right now, and this is going to take a couple of points off the core. We're only 10 minutes... well, actually, is it? Uther dies at the top, Rexa dies, everybody dies. Yeah, so they're not losing any points on the core, I guess, but it's super close. The shield is basically removed, and with most of the team dying up at the top, the fort is gonna get murdered as well. So we're only 10-11 minutes in, but there's a clear direction this is going. This can backfire, of course, but this is tricky to get back into. This is really difficult to come back in. So right now, 12 kills to 2. 16 is ready. It's a 2-level gap between them. And this is for sure another Dragon Knight. Yeah, if they zone out with Garrosh right here, then it's going to be another Dragon Knight. Zul is already going for it. Nobody's interrupting. And now they have to decide what they want to do with it, because, I mean, yes, the fort in the middle, you can take that out, but normally you're pushing the bot lane, but you've already destroyed the keep. So if you go for the bottom of the map, then it's basically an indication that you're trying to go core. Instead, they are just amassing everything here in the middle, now that Chromie is joining. And are most likely going to try and take down that mid lane fort and then move on. There's not a lot to grab currently. They can just play, they need to wait for the minion wave, so that's what they're currently doing. Lunara gets her butt kicked. And Uther, yeah, Uther gets a Divine Shield on 40 hit points. But no chance to keep the fort. So yeah, fort is gone. We are only 12 minutes in. I know it's really deceptive and it feels like we are much more in the late game, but it's just the Raiders dropping everything in their sides. The Dragon Knight is still mega weak because only the second one hasn't properly scaled yet. They're getting the damage in time and time again. We have 33,000 for Lunara. Chromie and Zul are both at 38k, so they're really bringing the pain here. And yeah, at least 60 talents on already for Team Ash. Alright, delivery on Garrosh. Well, Bambi, can she at least take Chromie out? And I guess not. My try is low and gets killed again. Oh boy, 13 kills to 2 and they just lost their damage dealer. Yeah, Garrosh is moving. Oh my god! Don't! I mean, seriously, guys. Show some mercy. They are already dead. You don't have to kick him. Holy hell. Yeah, that is game. It has to be game. They got brutalized there. Those portal plays, just way too much for them to handle. So we're going to game number 4. We're going to game number 4. Team Ash is not surviving this. They can't get anybody back into the game in order to save the core. That's 2-1. The reverse sweep has started. The Raiders with the victory on Dragonshire. They win game number 3. And that brings us, of course, straight to the next map. Game number 4 incoming as the Raiders put their first point onto the scoreboard. GG. It seems like we get a series on our hands. The Raiders putting a point onto the scoreboard and making sure that we're not running into another 3-0. So, yeah, good on them. It was a little bit of a one-sided one, I gotta admit. After the first 2 maps, not what I expected, but people have been joking that the match should be replayed. Or the map, because Medivh was clearly cheating, and I think he was. Nano with the portal plays and everything that he provided was way too much for them to handle, and I think the draft that we saw for Team Ash also didn't really work out for them. Now we're going into Battlefield of Eternity, and interestingly enough, I actually just noticed this, first pick, first ban again for the Raiders. So Team Ash went for map choice. Huh. Okay. Doesn't really happen all that often. Normally teams prefer after they lose to have first pick, first ban in the next game. But they went for the map choice. So what's the strategy here? Muradin is getting banned again. Yeah, Chen is already out. Lunara has been played. I mean, there's actually a lot of heroes that are already out now. This is game number 4, right? So 30 heroes have been played, and that means that those 30 heroes cannot be played again. It limits your option a bit more on Battlefield, and we had some pretty strong choices for, as the usual, damage dealers already being eliminated. Thrall gets banned. I'm still a little bit intrigued here. Because what damage dealers are we gonna get now? Chromie is out. I believe Hansa has been played. It's a bit of a blur with all the games that we had today, so I'm not 100% certain on all of those, but still, we have a fair amount of good ones already taken. But yeah. Ah, come on. Cho'Gath would not only be an awesome pick, but Cho'Gath would also be a bounty. They go for Sylvanas. So they start things off with a very early Sylvanas pick that helps them with anything single immortal that they're gonna get, that they can push this aggressively. So, what's the game plan here? Come on, boys. Samuro, Samuro and Sergeant Hammer. Oh, do you want them to quit out of frustration, or what's happening? Just like, ugh. That's exactly what you're thinking when you see those two being picked. Yeah, not fun. But at least they know what's up now. Oh, okay, Artanis, so they go for a blind, and they got Kayn. Nano with Artanis again. So they're picking Artanis for Nano. They have definitely a blind that they can use against Sergeant Hammer now. I mean, against Sergeant Hammer, you can technically also go laser, right? Brrr. The good thing generally is that the secret strategy, the secret thing to do against Artanis when he goes for laser is you just walk away from it. And it doesn't do anything. And if you're good at stutter stepping and also just moving in general, then you also don't have to move out of the fight immediately. Sergeant Hammer is a little bit different because she's fairly slow, so if she is forced out of siege mode and everything, you actually get some decent value. So you can make an argument for beam, I guess, but you can also just blind her. And that's an AoE blind, so you got a bit more out of that. You can also swap Sergeant Hammer, so that's another one. But yeah, we'll see what they can do. Alright, Tyrael. Sanctification is obviously a really nice play, so there's that. I can't really remember. Did they win with Trash Tennis earlier? I think they won their Trash Tennis game, right? But then again, both of the series were 3-0s to begin with, so... yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Artanis was still the hero that died by far the most. Morales and Mal'Ganis! Okay, so we got a pocket healer as well. Didn't really see the Morales pick coming. Immediately when I see Morales, I'm like, ooh, can they backdoor with that? And yeah, I don't think so. I guess you could technically, but can you imagine Stim Drone Sergeant Hammer? It's like da 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 da. I mean, ideally you try to play around Artanis' cooldown a bit, always assuming he goes blind. You get Auriel for the heals and Urel. That is quite the front line, damn. So we have a double support, Urel Artanis. Alright. Unexpected, but okay. Well, and that leaves us with the final pick. More traditional picks over here. We have a tank, we have a side laner, we have Morales, and our final choice for bishops. It is Orphea. Alright, everybody. Game number 4. Let's jump in. Let's see if here on match point number 2, Team Ash can win the series, or if the Raiders force map number 5. Game number 4, Team Ash against the Raiders. And we have some interesting compositions. Renella for the blue team on Morales as they're heading into their second match point. We have Maitri on Sergeant Hammer, Bishops playing Orphea, Murenas on Mal'Ganis, and Lopaka on Samuro. So generally speaking, a fairly straightforward combo when you're looking at the individual elements. Playing Morales as your healer and Sergeant Hammer plus Orphea might not necessarily be the norm, but still, they still play this with a normal side laner. Then again, we're looking over to the Raiders. We have Crankle on Auriel, Nano on Artanis with amateur opponent, of course, Gavlo on Sylvanas, Sven on Urel, and Hunter Hawk is playing Deckard Kayn. So they're very likely going to split things here. Actually, they're not splitting anything. They're going with everyone to the top lane, trying to take some down, and oh my god, no. Not another one of those games. Oh, they're both just pushing. Okay, Urel is moving down to the bottom of the map, doesn't she? Yeah, okay, so she moves out. I was really thinking for a second that they would just both attack one lane and go for it. And essentially that's what happened. Way more value for the blue team now. But it is a double support, double side laner, but double off tank, and then Sylvanas for the Raiders. Mal'Ganis at the top gets killed, but I think down here, very likely they're gonna lose a bit more. For Sergeant Hammer, it's obviously heavily annoying that UL can just simply come in and push her back out. but already being dealt with at least a bit. Sven still continuing with this, and yeah, it is a race. It is definitely a race. The top 4 is about to go down at the bottom of the map. Honestly, at this point, oh, they get Sven! Sven! Oh, he gets wrecked. But they're just gonna come. They're gonna need to. Come on, no. Oh, they're just continuing to push. So yeah, they're a little bit slower. They're still taking this out down here. But everybody else is now heading back. I actually don't think they can get the fort because Urel is already coming back, and I don't know if Mitra has enough time to get the auto attacks in here that he needs. I mean, he is trying. Yeah, but he still needs a bit more. And down all the way up at the top. Yep, they're still pushing this out too, nearly killing Samuro. But as I said, this one is not gone. So essentially what they're doing here, they're accelerating the game heavily. I mean, this is getting accelerated hard. If you take out structures down this early, you get... Ooh, nice kill. You get more experience, the catapults spawn sooner, fountains are removed, so you accelerate the game. That's just what happens. And that's what the teams are doing. We are 2 minutes and not even 30 seconds in, and already we have, I'll call it 2 forts destroyed. They're going to take this now, right? Yeah, I mean, they got to. They take it right now. Urel gets attacked here. They send a few more heroes back, but already Mitra is just shouting away, and they claim it. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. Now, who's taking it? We have Siege Tactics on level 4. And of course, if the blue team is victorious, then we are seeing them move to the grand final. And the Raiders would drop down into the losers bracket. But granted, they have another chance to eventually force a rematch after a losers bracket run. But well, time will tell. So already the repeated offense. You've been a bad boy. You've been a very bad boy. Yeah, it's kind of funny to me. The compositions are hilarious. Double camp at the top. And at the bottom of the map we see the same thing. Sylvanas is dealing with one. There's the swap, and Sergeant Hammer did not see that coming. Has a pocket healer though, and will likely also get some real nice sustain at level 10 from Morales. I mean, good damage as well. Went into Siege Tactics though, but they are just trying to go for Sergeant Hammer as fast as they can. Still a cap at the bottom of the map, by the way, so Sylvanas hasn't taken out everything. Still attacking over here, and here comes the attack. A little bit of extra damage from Trash Tannis, of course, right now. And we have Sylvanas still chipping away, but it's a halftime show victory for the Raiders. Pretty much uncontested. Easy win for them. Choo-choo! Who has a choo-choo train? Is that Ophia? I think Ophia has a choo-choo train. Yes, she does. She's channeling her inner Bad Benny. So, camp down here has to be taken out. And, well, can they maybe bring that back? I thought not, but Mal'Ganis is putting everybody to sleep. And the red team is actually losing their own Immortal pretty quickly too. So, who knows? Nah, I think they're still winning it. The Raiders are still going to win this one. The shield has been significantly removed, considering where all of this started off. So, yeah. And Huntdog is getting hunted and is alive. They got Kane waddling his way. Yeah. Urel not so lucky. Oriel. Oriel is still down. Urel is still alive. But they have to... They can now easier deal with the objective, but they still get to... They need to send somebody to the top lane. Now we have level 7 in play. That gives us the Hava Siege mode as usual. Samura has already started to stop this a bit. And yeah, here we go. This is not going to do anything. Yeah, that Immortal is not going to do anything at all. Just sits there and is like, yeah, I'm useless. So, one gone. I find, honestly, the games that we're getting from these teams today very, very amusing. Very, very cool. 3 kills to 1, both on level 8 now, any moment. Sylvanas still getting attacked, Ophia's up at the top, so it's a 5-man push at the bot lane against them. So much sustain, but still heroes dying, but the sustain is obviously there. I mean, they are able to heal with Oriel and then also with Deckard Cain. So you got the potions, you have a little bit of CC. Sergeant Hammer is getting hit over and over again by Nano. That's the main reason why they picked the hero in the first place. Trying to go for some swaps, but he doesn't like any of the auto attacks that he's being confronted with. And they don't have a main tag. That means that they actually don't have a lot of hard CC. Now they got a whip into a wall that they can use. They have Deckard Cain too. They also have some slows that they can utilize. But when you talk about some hard stuns, for example, there's not a whole lot going on for them. Now, there's not tons of those for Team Ashe either, but you at least have Mal'Ganis to put everybody to sleep there and not fear slapping people around a little bit. I'm also worried about the raw damage output as this continues, because I still expect Stim Drone, and I'm not even saying that Stim Drone should be exclusively used for Sergeant Hammer. Can you imagine late game Samuro with a Stim Drone? I mean, he's just gonna whack away at Sylvanas and take her down within seconds, and that's the thing. So, yeah, there's a lot going on here. And since the first few forts are already destroyed, this is applying pressure on the lanes very heavily. And just as a side note, the forts that are destroyed are the forts through which the camps are traveling. The shaman camps. Always assuming that they're being taken by the proper team and not stolen away. So, yeah, now that Sergeant Hammer has... Oh, careful, Sylvanas. Now that Sergeant Hammer has mobility, this is going to be much, much harder for the Raiders to approach. Yeah, fighting against Sergeant Hammer is always a massive nuisance. Level 10 abilities are now also going to kick in. So then we're going to see how specifically Artanis is going to play this out. But they are being put to sleep over here. Maitri has nearly achieved halftime show for them. There's the Stim Drone. We get blind from Artanis. And Samuro has already started. Oh, there is Mind Control and Morenas. Yeah, that's the CC that they have. Mind Control there, and they also go for Stay a While and Get Wrecked. So they go for ults in order to get that, but the halftime show is still about to be won by the blue team. So they are off to a good start on objective number 2. EFG is of course also out. Yeah, again, sleep. Oh, Aegis saving the target here. Yeah, that got clutch, and there's the Stim Drone. And immediately Maitri comes in and starts to murder people that have to quickly move away and disengage, or they're gonna get wrecked. Yeah, Ophir and Sergeant Hammer are both with 27,000 damage now. And the halftime show victory is inevitable. It's going to be, the blue team that gets it. Mal'Ganis trying to slow them down though, and that ends with him dying, so that's a bit of a setback. They still get the Immortal, but they also have to defend the top lane, and of course, they need Mal'Ganis back if they really want to make any big plays here. Blade Storm still allows them to easily get that done. I don't even think that Mal'Ganis needed to try and slow it down. They were already on their way to victory on this one, so yeah, doing anything about it wasn't really necessary, to be honest. Which essentially is going to result in the same thing that happened with the last objective. Easy defense. Barely going to break through the wall, I guess. Now they're getting everybody to the top, and that includes Mal'Ganis. Morena's moving to the bottom of the map first. But the shield is gone, the hit points are already halfway gone, so they're gonna break through the wall, and that's about it. Yeah, Yrel jumps in, gets the hit there, and they want her, but the ult! Oof. Yeah, Ophir with some really nice moves. I mean, that's the second ult that was essentially absolutely on point. The first one negated by Aegis. And this one, Yrel gets out, but they're starting to heavily siege up on this. And there's the swap attempt. So far, so good. Stay a while, get whipped in a wall, and get killed. Great job. Samuro was already gone, so there was a 5 versus 4, and now they're going for Morales. Mokus Morales, baby. And Samuro is apparently, he wants a piece of the action as well, but that's the Raiders with all of a sudden momentum as they're coming in and starting to take some of them out. So we got now 4 kills to 3. And yeah, not too shabby. Up to a second ago, I would have probably given the blue team a bit of an edge with how dominant they were on the last Immortal and how well they played that out. But now, that definitely hurt them, and a lot of that. Now, Samuro still being annoying. If he can get into the late game, they could get a lot done there, but it's a wild game. I kind of like it. They're trying to trap Oriel. Even Mal'Ganis now at the bottom of the map. They're not going to get anything here. We now have Remorseless, and we also get the Graviton Vortex. Now, 13 will be ready for both of the teams just in time. It's camps that are being taken. Top side, Samuro was saying hello, but he couldn't take it. Instead, Lopaka? Yeah, not even close at all, right? So, for a moment, I thought he would actually die there. That would have been bad timing. Objective is up, and all of a sudden, Samuro just randomly dies on the map, and you're just sitting there like, yeah, so that just happened. But at least for them, yeah, they could still save it. So, alright, objective is up. This is a bit of a moment of truth situation. Which team has now the better position in order to claim all of this? So who is able to make some big plays for this? That's the question. And, well, as we're talking about it, we have Urel focused again. Deckard Kane with CC, Mind Control, and Bishops is dead. They are syncing this up super nicely. I really, really like it. I was questioning the amount of CC that they had earlier, but this is a really cool combo that they're executing here, and it works just so well for them. So, Artanis' ult used to counteract the stim drone a bit. Big push at the top. And them losing their camp earlier is their wall earlier is really a problem, isn't it? I mean, they're losing continuously hit points on that keep, and it's starting to become a bigger and bigger issue as we're going through this. Down at the bottom of the map, we have a similar play, but it's just not nearly as much damage and not nearly as much of a threat to the keep itself. Halftime show is now gone, so it looks like we're getting another big immortal for the red team this time. And they've been just playing this out a little bit better, I gotta say. So yeah, next attack is already coming in. Starting to make a play for Mal'Ganis, and he's still alive. What about Gavlo? Sylvanas? Nope, she lives. The whip, and Morenas is able to get out with the Fell Claws, but barely. Yes, that was rough. I mean, really rough. So, yeah, nice moves. So here, maybe Ophia gets nice again. Like, Aegis is really such a good tool to counter the ult that Ophia is using here, and that has happened now multiple times. They're still trying to defend, but look at the hit points of the red team's Immortal. It's nearly at 100% still. So it's not only about defending here, it's also about trying to do some damage on the other side. Samuro is pushing the bot lane now in order to open up another opportunity to just force them back and force them to deal with this. Sergeant Hammer is now getting hits in over here, which is neat. Down at the bottom of the map, they're trying to save Lopaka, and the pocket heals that we're getting from Morales are helping. What they need essentially is a kill. But in comes Urel. They're getting forced into the fight. And again, Sergeant Hammer isn't here. Sergeant Hammer is not here. Morenas wants to get out, and he dies. So that's one of your heroes gone, and Sergeant Hammer just is not a hero that gets damage done against the Immortal quickly enough in order to make a massive difference here. I mean, just look at this. Gets it down to, yes, 50% HP, so neat. And they can now take a few more hit points off. Better than nothing. What is this? 35% roughly. But it's level 16 and an Immortal push at the same time. The wall is already opened up at the bottom of the map, so that eliminates your... It easily eliminates your bottom fort. We're already 14 minutes into the game, so this one hurts. And it seems that, just generally speaking, the Raiders are doing better and better and better now. They finally found their flow. 57,000 for Sergeant Hammer. We got 43,000 for Sylvanas. Yeah, nice dodge here on the swap. But the hits in the walls are still there. And Mind Control is missing. That's actually big. Mind Control was a huge part of all of this. Yeah, careful. Artanis gets hit, and he gets hit hard. Yeah, there's also very quickly the ult of Sergeant Hammer, and in comes the stim drone. But it's Ophia that dies. It just feels that the blue team doesn't have the tools here, doesn't it? It really feels like the blue team does not have the tools anymore, and I think it's only going to get worse. Once that level 20 is in, and Sylvanas has the cooldown reduction, she is just going to wreck them at the front. So they're helping the Immortal to do damage with 50% of the hit points left. The keep is about to fall. They want to go for Morales. They take her down. Aegis saves Gavlo, and they might even get damage in on the core. Guys, they might even be able to end the game if they get more kills now. Samuro is barely getting out. Morenas isn't so lucky, so he dies. Yeah, and that's game. That's just game. We're going the distance. Reverse sweep. Reverse sweep is all of a sudden more than possible. Off we go. We are going to game number 5 between Team Ash and the Raiders. Nice. Great series here. GG. So they've actually done it. Game number 5. The reverse sweep is in their grasps. Now, this is gonna end the series. The winner goes to the grand final. The loser drops down into the loser's bracket. Team Ash went into a 2-0 lead, had 2 match points, lost both of them. And the Raiders, they're looking more and more like they have just found their rhythm. Now, there's obviously the added strain... I mean, I'm organizing these tournaments and I'm honestly considering that there are certain heroes that are not allowed to be banned. You cannot ban the Vikings. You cannot ban Shogal. You cannot ban Murky. I feel this should be a thing. The problem is always to make things too complex and game, it's just not going to be fun anymore. Same with also the bounties. There's too many things of like, what if you like these are worth more than these and then you can do this and then you can trade it in for that, and it's just like, yeah, if it's too complex then it's just going to be way too tricky for the audience to follow, for the players to also follow during the draft. So yeah. But again, what I was about to say is, now that we're heading into this, there's 40 heroes that cannot be played anymore because they've been played before. So that limits the pool of options a bit. Now we have 90 heroes in the game, which means that there's not really gonna be an issue. If you're playing Meta Madness, it's obviously a totally different thing. If you have 22 heroes pre-banned in addition to that rule, then duh, you're gonna get some crazy stuff on game number 5. But in this particular setup, there's plenty of comps that you can still go for. So, yeah, not going to be a problem at all. So then, either way, we're now having Mephisto banned out, Karrigan is banned, Vala is banned. And specifically, the Mephisto ban makes perfect sense to me. You still target Nano to an extent with the heroes that he plays here. There's a bit of an overlap, as we've already seen with Gavlo, but still. Morena's super quickly for Tyrael. And my eye is still on Bishops. We also haven't had Falstad yet. I mean, it's Tomb though, so you have to consider that. You could get Nazeebo, I'm just saying. A little bit of Nazeebo. It is actually possible. I mean, game 5 on Tomb? 100%. Gavlo gets his Tracer. If anything surprises me, then it is that it took 5 maps for Gavlo to finally play his Tracer. So, yeah. And we get also Muradin, who was banned out multiple times previously. I'm secretly still a little bit salty that they banned Shogal. Now, another hero that you could also pick here is, of course, Suljin. Suljin has already been played a few times in the qualifiers. And there he is. Okay, Zarya and Suljin. That's a lot of shields that we're getting. Tyrael, Zarya, Suljin. And Suljin obviously also gets the attack speed bonus there. Whew. I mean, yeah. Definitely, yeah. If you're Muradin, you look at that and you're like, no. Muradin wanted Axe, Muradin is getting Axe. Hammer time or Axe time. Yeah, so they're banning out Ana. It's still massive amounts of supports and healers obviously available. Alexstrasza comes to mind immediately. White Mane is still up. Can always go Lily, or not. But yeah, I like Suljin here as a pick. Now, you have to be a bit careful with Tracer, of course, but also, again, Tracer can't dodge auto attacks. So they get rid of some of the wave clear that is still available in regards to mages, which, by the way, leaves Kel'Thas. Nano has been playing Kel'Thas quite a bit, so I would not put it past him to just play Kel'Thas here again. You can follow with the Gravity Lapse on any Stormbolt that gets thrown out by Muradin. So, as far as mages goes, Nano and Kel'Thas is absolutely comfortable. Like, yeah, 100%. Energy Royal into Sunfire Enchant is usually what he plays. Ooh, we get Illidan again. I'm actually really leaning towards putting also a bounty on Illidan. I think Illidan is a lot of fun to watch. He's one of those heroes that if you see him, it's great. It's just a bit surprising to me that we had a very... How many times have we now seen Illidan group stage in here in the in the finals? I think like for the 3rd time now. So, to be fair then, bounties you need to win, and I think Illidan's win rate has been a little bit mediocre. So not too good. Oh, they actually do it! They picked Lily! Alright. Lily... Look at that lineup. Tyrael, Arthas, Zarya, Lily, and Suljin. Yeah, okay. Oh boy. I say it's Khaldor. And it's Khaldor. Alright, so Tyranna's done, Meridian's done, Khaldor's Gravity Labs. Guys, Doom and Spider Game, the final map in the best of 5 series. Let's go. Who goes to the grand final? Let's find out together. Time for a reverse sweep, at least potentially. So it's gonna get interesting between Team Ash and the Raiders. The winner bracket final goes into map number 5. Bishops on Zarya, we have Renella on Lily. He actually picked Lily. Lopaka on Suljin, Maitri on Arthas, and Morenas on Tyrael. And just to make this very, very clear, neither Suljin, Lily, nor Illidan are bounties. Maybe for Season 2 we're gonna add some bounties, but currently none of them are. Also, Tyrael going into Ardent Restoration usually indicates that he wants to go for a more aggressive Tyrael build with possibly Judgment as his level 10 choice. On the right side, the Raiders with Sven on Illidan, Gavlo on Tracer, Hunter Orc on Tyrande, Krenkel with Muradin, and as pretty much expected, Nano with Khaldor. And he is going to go into Energy Royal at level 4, Sunfire Enchant at level 7, at least if he follows the normal build that he uses on the hero. So it deviates a bit away from the norm, from the standard that we're getting. And Illidan already gets wrecked. Oh, poor Illidan. I mean, again, Arthas is pretty damn good against Illidan. That's already one thing. If you can control his auto attacks and really root him down, then Illidan is a lot easier to deal with. And this is what they're going to try and do. So Arthas is gonna sit on him all game long and gonna try and take him down here. On level 1, we get the unending hatred of 10,000 Storm League games. And yeah. We'll see how much damage he's going to get on this. But Suljin is already stacking. And Suljin, it is the usual game. He went into Recklessness as his level 1 talent. It's all about getting him to 15 first so that he gets a range increase. Makes it easier for him to stack his baseline, and to top that off, he's also going to benefit very heavily from hitting 30, since he is going to get a double swing on his axes. And most Suljin players that are starting to stack for the late game will go Arcanite axis on level 7, and therefore just become killing machines in the late game. That's all that you want to do here. So, yeah. I mean, either way, by now we have, with Lily, also a few blinds in. Not really too bad against Illidan either. Again, you want to stun him. The best thing against Illidan is really just stunning him out. Stun him, slow him, and then kill him. Blinds, if you have one, hey, great, but don't go out of your way in order to get a blind. Specifically when it means that you have to pick Lily. The reason why we see her in the game is because 40 heroes weren't available anymore, and because apparently Renella is a little bit of a masochist, so or hates his teammates. It's one of the two. But yeah, Lily is really great when you are just a really super new player and you don't know anything. All you gotta do is like you put a little weight on your Q button and you run around all game long. But once that we're talking about tournaments, she falls off pretty heavily. You want to target people a little bit more directly when you want to do your thing, but yeah, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun game one way or another. Suljin getting killed, that means no stacks allowed over here. And it's the CC chain. It's really the CC chain that might become the problem. Because Muradin Tyrande was always the thing. We actually talked about that in these top 4 matches. And on top of that, you have an additional CC with Gravity Lapse as the follow-up. As already predicted, Energy Royal is in, the weapon of choice for Nano. And Illidan is also pretty good on structures here. So, down at the bottom of the map, Maitri. Yeah, Illidan is not gonna like that lane too much. At least not in the long run. I mean, Sven can do his thing, And the panda got killed. Lily looking for adventure, and all she found was death and despair. Same for Nano. They at least recovered the gems. With Illidan just hopping around the battlefield like a bunny on LSD, he is easily able to move in, move out, take those gems, and it's just like, alright guys, see you later. But you're not gonna take that away from us. 9 stacks for him, 10 for Suljin. Yeah, and Suljin is trolling. Oh, beautiful Howling Blast. That leads to Muradin getting murdered. They still pick up those gems, and Suljin is now on 15 stacks. Nearly gets a kill in, by the way, on Tracer too. Gavlo barely making it out of the fight. Hunter Orc also suffering. There's Arcanite access now. I gotta say, the early stacking for Suljin is solid. I mean, really solid. Speed barrier obviously helps to stay close enough to a target as he starts to run away in order to get additional hits in. So the Zarya combo is doing work for them. Also a lot of stacks for Ardent Restoration. I mean, this is a fantastic map if you're trying to get a lot of globes. You can just easily move between the lanes and get those from... Zarya. And... Bishops gets the shield and is fine. And Suljin is still stacking up to 18. But as I was about to say, so you can really just like take those mages out on every single wave, move from one lane to another, and then get good stacks together for Tyrael. And that is helping him as the game continues. All that sustain that he gets with it, just getting the heal amount there is great. And look at this. They're getting another kill against Kel'Thas. So Kel'Thas is down. They are also nearly crushing Hunter Orc completely with Tyrande. And if you just take a quick glimpse at the stacks for Suljin, we are now on 23. And we are only 5 minutes into the game. Blue team also with a Web Weaver wave. So this is really bad for the Raiders. And I mean, really bad. Great stacking for Suljin. Good stacking for everybody else here to involve. And the Web Weavers aren't even there. And the fort is basically gone. So... I mean, good luck with this, boys. You're gonna be in for a world of pain if you don't find the pause button here somewhere. Tracer doesn't like that either. Gavlo came in, got attacked a couple of times, immediately has to retreat. And now they're going for a kill on Tyrande, easily drop her. That's 29 stacks for Suljin. Again, he's at 15 stacks for his Arcanite access already, and he's gonna get the double swing any moment now. This is horrible for them. Can they kill him? Well, Bishops gets out, okay, and Muradin dies. This is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster for the Raiders. They were 0-2, made it to the 5th map, and now they're getting absolutely farmed over here. Syndragosa, there is Tazdingo, and we're also getting Judgment. They're going for the keep already. Suljin is at 30, he has the double. There's Syndragosa, and they're pushing straight for Tyrande, and she doesn't stand a chance. Goes down immediately. Quest is completed for Suljin. They might be able to take down Bishops. Tazdingo, yeah, is most likely gonna die after this, but he at least gets some additional stacks in. And he gets a kill. He's still alive. Muradin wants to kill. Shields galore. Tyrael and also Zarya with all them shields. Suljin finally falls, but they kill Muradin too. So gems are lost, at least a few of them. Only 28 in their hands, 40 turned in, and the red team at least gets their set of Web Weavers. But damn, Team Ash is currently going through the Raiders like hot butter through cheese. They are melting them away. Quests are about to be completed for Arthas. We have 34 stacks now for Suljin, and it all gets reflected in the damage output as well. 30,000 for Suljin already. He died twice. We have 30,000 for Kel'Thas. And now they can deal with the Web Weavers right here. So yeah, Suljin is gonna murder things if this continues. They have to absolutely slow things down. The red team, they really got to. I mean, Illidan is sitting at 41 damage now, so he completed his level 1 quest, and he can still endlessly stack that. He also went into Unbound on level 7, and is playing around that. But, well, off we go. The attack in the middle, I don't think they can get a fort here. I really don't think they can. Illidan again, up at the front. Going up against Arthas directly, and has to Metamorphosis out. And gets still killed. Judgment, and gets popped. Syndragosa is in. Everybody's slowed. Everybody is slowed, making it insanely difficult for Underdog to try and get away here. And he has no chance. Tyrande gets crushed. There's still a Web Weaver wave down at the bottom of the map that might actually get a fort. But it's now 36 stacks for Zul'jin. Arthas is continuing to stack. Tyrael is looking good here. Their late game is just getting better and better and better. It's... yeah. 11 kills to 3. Level 13 talents. Now we already have Lacerate in. So you get the slow as well. Boy. Yeah, good luck with that. The Owl spots it, but I mean, what are you going to do with it? Are they actually going to move in against level 13 talents? It seems like they are trying to. So yeah, they're already there. Arthas is slowly on his way towards the top. They try to go for Zul'jin and they kill him. The boss could be stolen. Did Team Ash overdo it? Did they get too greedy? They are a little bit prone to plays like this, but the boss gets leashed, so it's only kills that we're talking about. 32 gems. Yeah, they get lost. Tracer, they want her and they can't get her. Instead, they're losing Tyrael too. So they take the gems, but they only have 2 heroes surviving. I mean, it's a lot of damage that they've done against everybody now, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a 5 versus 2. And it didn't need to be. So there's the ult just for the heals, and now they can go for the boss. They couldn't just simply steal it away, but now they can of course claim it. Muradin went Haymaker. We now have level 13 talents that they're both missing out on, Muradin and Arthas, but they're still going for the attack. And look at Zul'jin. Zul'jin is just stacking. He's happy to just to be part of the conversation. But that's 41 gems that are just lost. I have no idea why they're always YOLOing in like this. Yeah, so congratulations. Team Ash is just in full throw thing. Honestly, Team Ash was in a great spot, and then they were just like, do you want to see how hard I can throw this? I'm gonna throw it all the way, baby. They're just feeding isolated heroes into them. They've just lost tons of gems. I think 41 went down with Zarya. Zul'jin died again, and the boss is gonna be taken anyways. Why not just give them the boss? At the time, it was like 10-9 minutes into the game. Who cares? So, yeah. Basically what just happened is Team Ash took a run-up and then jumped feet first into running it down topside. Red Web Weavers and a boss are both not being taken, and now they gotta deal with it anyways. So, yeah. We are in Throw City, everybody. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Judgment, I mean, Tyrande is just getting crushed, or should be crushed time and time again here, but they didn't get the damage in. They are on Khaldor now, though. Nano, and he's dead. Nano is dead. They're getting kills. Illidan isn't even here, so it's 2 heroes down. Quest completed also for Arthas, which is going to be big, but they still gotta defeat all of this. Now, Web Weaver at the top, boss at the top, 15 to 15. Good stacks still for Zul'jin, despite the fact that he died a couple of times. But Illidan is also at 57 now. So his single target damage is... I mean, again, his overall hero damage is obviously not insane. But his single target damage is starting to become more and more of a problem. As long as he gets the attacks in, he's also going to, of course, then heal himself. And the self-sustain is really going to help him as this continues. So he could be dangerous in the late game too. It's not only Zul'jin that is a monster there. And with Zul'jin dying 4 times, his damage is now currently capped at 40,000. 50,000, 52,000 for Khaldor. So they lost a lot more in structures now. They still have level 16. Both teams do. That gives also the Remorseless Winter over to Arthas. So Arthas is really just a CC bot at this point. Wants to move in and just CC the hell out of everybody. Illidan in particular. Bishops gets attacked, and Zarya has to be mega careful here. And Arthas isn't there with them yet. One of the problems. The 5 versus 4. So Team Ash really had the game in the back, more or less. I mean, not 100% maybe, but they had a huge advantage, and then they just decided to just go full Throw City. At least they're turning in right now, but they've suffered. They've definitely lost the advantage that they had. Bishops with another 2, and that's going to be the Web Weaver way for them. Alright, so it's going to be a stacking game. Tyrael on 28 now on his level 1. So it has some additional sustain here that Morenas can, of course, use. Mirrodin. Okay, Stormbolt is in. They're really driving this. Damn, they're really driving this now. Bishops gets hit by the gravity lapse, and it is again Nano on point. Syndragosa as they're flanking in. Tyrael with Judgment straight onto the shield. Mirrodin gets... No, he gets killed. Mirrodin is dead. Suljin. But evade for Illidan. Too strong. So 14 kills to 10. They're taking the Web Weavers out. Big heals from Lily all of a sudden. But holy cow. Look at Suljin, by the way. Thanks to the attack against Illidan and a few others, he's now sitting at 55 stacks on his baseline. 55 and 56 on his level 7. Illidan is at 62. Yeah, the damage numbers are really kicking in. So they have a few Web Weavers still left, and let's not forget that the keep at the bottom of the map actually took damage earlier. So there you go again, and Sven is gone. Illidan literally getting walked to his grave by Arthas. Arthas is doing so well on this, and, well, then that happened. So Arthas is gone, but it's still a 4 versus 3. The fort is destroyed, and I think that... Yeah, that keep is gone. Goodbye. The keep is gone, so Team Ash is back in the driver's seat. Was pushing through the top a little bit, and Zarya goes brrrr and takes that on super quickly. But it's really the Suljin party in the late game that we have to keep an eye on. So they're not going too deep on this one just yet. Could maybe take the fort out in... they're actually still staying. In the fort out here. Okay, they're trying to make a play for Suljin. Heals. Nice. He still lives. And he gets Tracer. Big hits. Tracer is gone. They're feeding kills into them now too. Tyrande is back. Suljin at 64 stacks now. And he is stacking his Arcanite Access. Yes, his damage is starting to explode. It's getting very nasty. 68,000. So he's nowhere near what Tracer currently has, but it's also because he died 3 times more. But Tyrande is having trouble against all of the damage that's getting pushed onto her. She died 5 times. And again, Suljin is just going to continue the trend here. Level 20 is also the next huge power spike that they're going to get. And it's just crazy how they can sustain themselves with some of these fights, thanks to the shields that we're getting. Tyrael, you have on top of that, and also Zarya kicking in. Has now also gone into the gain train. So, yeah. Shields galore. And half a level to 20. Not really a whole lot that they can turn in just yet, but they can definitely try and destroy the fort in the middle. Specifically because not everybody is here to defend, and they got a camp to push in. So, yep, by fort. They might even be able to save it. Nah. Look at Tracer. Just like insta, so much damage here. They go for Mirrodin. Maybe that Judgment was a little bit too ambitious, but they're locking him down again, and it's all about Lopaka able to get those auto attacks in. Every single one that you hit is going to help you with the late game. Every time that you're able to dish out a bit of damage, that you're getting your level 7 stack, that you're getting stacks for your baseline, you're going to go into a better late game. Yeah, shields. The boss is up and they just move away. And move straight to the boss. I mean, kind of telegraphed. Illidan is down at the bottom of the map. He doesn't have Hunt, so it's not like he has that as a global. But they want to go for the boss at Team Ash. They don't care. They're just like, alright guys, we can still do this. Level 20 for both teams. Yeah, they want the boss. They're going in. Suljin has gone for the Armani Resilience. Lily has gone for the Mistweaver. Here comes the ult, the boss, and double kill against the blue team, but they got the boss. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. They're losing everyone here. Now they're killing at least Tracer, and Suljin, he gets 1 kill, but it's still a 5-man team wipe. Worth it? I don't think so. Can they end the game? I'm not so sure. Illidan is great here. Illidan is fantastic. But this is also going to hurt. We're 17 minutes in. And yeah, Tyrael is back in 23 seconds. I think they just lost. I think Team Ash threw the game twice. They threw it 2 times. They threw the game away twice. I can't believe it. I honestly cannot believe it. A double throw. An actual double throw. Well, it's their own fault. Here comes Tyrael, but it's already too late. The Raiders go to the grand final and Team Ash drops down into the losers bracket. GG and well played.